think you are?
What's good? I am Yish. This is Yish in your ear. Today we are reviewing Scheps Omni channel by Waves. Scheps Omni channel is several processors in one. So let's go over the controls of the plugin briefly. For each processor, you can bypass or activate by clicking on its title. Each strip gets stereo, duo, or mid-side. At the top here, you are able to actually rearrange the various processors. Okay. This button here brings you a view that allows you to modify the mid-side or duo option. All right. Starting with the preamp, you get the saturation level, 3 separate flavors of saturation: odd, even, heavy, a high pass and a low pass filter, running from 20 to 20K and 20 to 20K respectively here. 6, 12, or 18 decibel slope, and at the bottom, a 2 or 4 dB thump increase. Give it a little bit more low end. For the gate, we have optional gate or expansion, the threshold, the attenuation meter, the noise floor knob, the gate close knob, the attack, the release. Looking at its separate screen here, you do have a side chain that you can use to modify the frequency that the gate or expansion affects. And once you do that, the side chain button then becomes available to click on. For the EQ, you have 3 different flavors of EQ per frequency section: high, mid, tone, and low. So we have a shelf, we have P for parametric. I always forget what this is, but it's a separate flavor. This is a bell, this is a notch, this is a parametric, which allows you to modify the bandwidth or Q. Tone, which is the body of the sound, so you can modify that and keep that in respect to that. And the low frequency EQ selection. And in here again, you get the ability to do stereo, dual, or mid-side, which allows you to modify the left, right, mid, or side section separately. For the compressor, you get 3 flavors of compressor: VCA, FET, or optical. Of course, your standard threshold, gain reduction, ratio, attack, release, dry and wet mix knob, and output. Looking in the further page here, stereo, dual, mid-side is where you would modify that in here. All right. And of course, in here you have a side chain option as well. Moving on to the de-esser. The de-esser comes with 2 separate de-essers for you to utilize, so you could affect based on the frequency plot that you choose here. All right, and then the actual frequency that you pick here. So the behavior is selected here, the frequency is here, the threshold. All right. This allows you to listen to the actual frequency you're modifying. And of course, this shows you when the de-essing is taking place. Same thing down here. The 1 and 2 button is how you activate each one respectively. Clicking on its separate interface again, this is where you would do the duo and mid-side function. All right, if you want to affect just one portion of this sound. The insert section here, you click on this plus button, you get a list of your current Waves plugins that are only, so far what I'm seeing, only under the current Wave shell that this particular plugin was built off of. I have at least 4 different Wave shells. I do not necessarily utilize the WUP update plan by Waves because it costs money and I'm just a regular Joe. So right now the only plugins I have in here are the ones that come with the actual Scheps channel. All right, so there we put the de-esser in as an additional inserted plugin. Of course, you can disable it and you can remove it. Here we have, of course, the input fader and the output fader, and you can unlink. All right, down at the bottom there, you have the ability to listen to the left, right, or stereo, mid, side, or mono. And you also have the capability to flip the phase. All right. At the top, you have the change for the metering. So you can look at the input metering, the gain reduction metering, or the output metering. And then last but not least, you have an output limiter at the end of the plugin. All right, so that's the interface, but hey, I can show you better than I can tell you.
This is Yish in your ear.
All right, most of this stuff is just standard effects processing. So what I'll do is play before and after for several tracks so you can hear this particular plugin. So let's start with the kick. This is before. Here's after. All right, I did some compression on this, a little bit of EQ. We did use the saturation to give it a little bit more saturation. All right, here's the snare before. After. Very simple. Here is the hat before. All right, here is the hat after. Wow. Back off that some. Right there. All right, we have an overhead section that has several things in it. This is before. It also includes the hat. Here is the after. Actually, we didn't use this one. We also have a clap track. This is before. After. Really just tighten it up with the expansion. Here is the bass track before. All right, here is the bass track after. Now this one I did dig a little bit, and a hell of a lot with the compressor. All right, we use some heavy, even harmonics for the preamp, a little bit of low pass filtering, a smidget of high pass filtering just to clear up some of the lower rumble, a lot of compression simply because I wanted to. The de-esser came into play. Clear that up. Okay. All right. And of course the gate to tighten the sound. And then on the end we use the limiter to keep it from going over a specific threshold. For the keys, this is before. All right. This is after. Again, a lot of compression. Probably not ideal. but it became late in the evening, so I did what I could, right? This is what we have for the vocals.
She takes my heart and run.
This is after.
She takes my heart and run, headed for the sun.
All right. We have another section of vocals. The bottle pop. Before. After. Just to wake them up. Give them some liveliness. We also have here gangsta. Before.
Gangsta.
Here's after.
Gangsta.
Then we have the lead. Here's the lead before.
She takes my heart and run.
Yes, it was doubled.
Headed for the sun.
All right, and this is it after.
She takes my heart and run.
Okay.
Headed for the sun. Oh.
That's what we did with the vocals. Let us play the entire composition with all of the Scheps Omni channel activated. The music section. Now here comes the vocals.
She takes my heart and run, headed for the sun.
All right.
Alone a gun, can't stop.
Now we're gonna play it without Scheps Omni channel so you can hear where it came from. It's just the music section. All right. Then we have the vocal section.
She takes my heart and run, headed for the sun.
All right.
Alone a gun, can't stop.
There's one thing I want to show you before I let you guys go is focus. Now, if you see where when I click on focus, there's 4 knobs on this particular preset that light up. What that tells you is that if you modify these according to your signal, you'll stay within the specifications of what the preset intended. That's the purpose of focus. And this is a fairly light plugin. I have it on maybe 20 channels and it barely scratched the CPU. That's been my review of Scheps Omni channel by Waves. You can get this, of course, at waves.com. As of this review, it is on one of Waves' special sales for less than 50 bucks. So if you are wise, you would grab it while it's still on sale, and you will have yourself 5 to 6 processors all in one channel that will save you a lot of processing in your DAW. As always, leave a like, leave a comment. I do comment back when I get the chance. Hit that subscribe button. That lets me know that what I'm doing, you guys appreciate and it brings value to you. With that being said, I am Yish. You've been watching Yish in your ear. Stay tuned.